Hey everybody, Josh with 6 Up Tabletop. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing another box/unit review for Black Powder Epic Battles. This is going to be looking at the Waterloo campaign. Today taking a look at the British and Allied commanders. The set comes with 5 Warlord resin, quote-unquote, models. The different models that are included are British Cavalry Commander, Picton, Wellington, Prince Willem of Orange, and Uxbridge. And these were the 5 British and Anglo Allied commanders who fought in the Battle of Waterloo. I'm sure there are many others, but these were included by Warlord Games. I'll review them, talk a little facts about them, and let's get into it. Just a few notes on this kit. The bases, there are no bases supplied with this kit. These are some round bases I had from Warhammer, and then the square base is a base from another one of the Epic Battle kits. There are plenty of extras, so you should be able to use those bases if you got one of the starter boxes. In addition, I think I would rate this kit like a 3 out of 5. I think the models are decent models. I would just express a lot of frustration about cleaning the models, preparing them, the resin, whether if they're like resin gates or whatever. Yeah, it took a lot of knife work to cut that resin down, especially underneath the horse, parts of the weapon. Yeah, there's a fair, just for the 5 models, there was a fair amount of cleanup work that was needed. It could have just been my copy that I got. I don't know, there's experience. I would say I also have the French Commander kit, and the Commander kit was not as, I guess I felt like I had less to clean up on each one of the models. So that's just a side note in terms of hobbying these kits. Now let's take a look at each of the individual 5. So the first, just generic set. This is the British Cavalry Commander. Nothing too special, I think. Turned out quite well. Yeah, just threw him on a small square base. For me, he'll be brigade commander leading some cavalry. And yeah, I think my favorite part of it, I just like he's got the sword over his shoulder and kind of like a sauntering pose. I think, yeah, turns out great. Let's get a shot with him with some additional British cavalry. I got him leading 2 squads of British heavy dragoons. I think he fits in nicely. It looks pretty sick with pretty cool with his sword like that and all the heavy dragoons in their attack formations and stuff. So I think this would fit quite nicely as a brigade commander. Let's move on to the next model. Okay, second one we're looking at is Sir Thomas Picton. I was associated Waterloo a bit with the movie from the 70s. I think it was the 90s. I'm not sure, but yep, that's Sir Thomas Picton. Described as, well, he actually died during the Battle of Waterloo, the 100 Days campaign. Described as a man with a fiery temper, rough, foul-mouthed devil as ever lived. That was a quote. He led the 5th Infantry Division, and he was known for wearing civilian clothes during battle, so I think it's fun that they had him modeled with his overcoat and then an umbrella and his top hat. That's always what I would attribute to Picton. He was known for wearing his civilian clothes, and then in Black Powder they give him a particular rule called "Come on, you damn rascals! Come on, you fighting villains!" So once again, showing his fiery temper, his foul mouth when commanding and ordering troops, and that rule would allow you to re-roll a break test. So through his foul language and utter command, he would be able to rally the troops. So that's Sir Thomas Picton, and we'll move to the next one. The next one we have is Prince Wilhelm of Orange. I believe he was the son of the King of the Netherlands. He was the command of First Corps of the British Anglo-Allied Army. I think the model's pretty sweet. It's cool with all his decorations. I think it turned out quite well. My handwriting's a little my painting writing's a little bit sloppy, but that's alright. Yeah, pretty sweet model. He was a political appointment for Wellington in the army. This were typically were many appointments during this time militarily. And it was said of him that by Wellington, the prince is a brave man, but that is all. So he was not particularly known for his prowess in military command, but just being a brave soldier and a brave leader. To reflect that, the black powder rules give him a rule named after that same quote. And when he gives orders to troops, he blunders on any double, not just a double six, making it much harder to give out orders throughout the game consistently. So overall, yeah, I think this is one of the better models in the kit, similar to one of the French commanders with his hand raised and stuff. I think that's a fun pose, and it would look great on the battlefield leading some troops, whether they're Hanoverians, British, King's German Legion, or anything like that. So let's get going with the next one. For the fourth, we have Henry William Paget, Earl of Uxbridge. This is my favorite model in the pack. He's got his little hussar jacket. So many ornamental additions to this model that you would paint in. It's cool to compare it to some of the photos that I tried to base, well, not photos, but paintings that I tried to base it off of. I think it turned out super good too. Definitely the hardest, man. I would say a lot of the detail just felt like it was obscured. It wasn't really sharp with the resin, so I feel like some of it I just feel like I had to paint on. So that was the only downside. The detail just didn't seem super clear. Some facts, yeah, he was named as a cavalry commander in the Peninsular Campaign. During the Battle of Waterloo, he led the decisive cavalry charge that halted the French commander D'Erlon's First Corps as they were moving up the hill. Later, this cavalry charge that halted the French was later overwhelmed and attacked by French cavalry. He was famous because later in the battle he was struck by a cannonball splinter. That's what at least some of the historical facts I'm reading say. And he later lost his leg, and it's something similar to it's loosely quoted where he looked at Wellington and said, "Gosh, sir, I've lost my leg." And Wellington said, "Gosh, sir, you certainly have." I don't think that was exactly how it was quoted, but it seemed like he was a very tough man, and in Black Powder they gave him the rule decisive to reflect the fact that he led that daring cavalry charge at Waterloo. Last, but certainly not least, the Duke of Wellington, General of the Anglo-Allied Army. Also nicknamed the Iron Duke, got his military career with many different missions and stations, first in India and then in the Peninsular War. Known for his strategy with defending the rule black powder that they give him, called "The French are going to get a devil of a surprise when they see how I can defend a position." So black powder showing that they can. He's reflecting that his very strong tactics, defensive tactics, and that rule allows him to choose which side of the table to fight on during a battle. So, I mean, that's very specific for, like, pickup games. And I know not every game of Black Powder or Valor of Fortitude or anything like that are just specifically pickup games. Many historical war gamers like to play historical recreations. So, you know, it seems like it's a little bit of a lost rule, especially if you're reenacting a certain battle. You wouldn't just allow the British to just pick the side of the battle. Historically, there'd be specifically dictated sides of the battle. So I feel like that rule is a little bit lost. But in terms of like pickup games and stuff, I think that's pretty cool. I think the model turned out quite good, other than some cleaning on it. I think I could have added some more grays. I think there's a little bit with the saddle cover and his cloak. Yeah, the blues kind of melded a little bit, but it's cool to see that they included the little spyglass that he would use to observe the battlefield. And overall, I think it's a great model, and I'll be happy to have him leading the British troops for the Waterloo battle. So thanks for watching. This is Joshua 6 Up Tabletop. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.